Good morning and welcome back. 7:09 right now. A cloudy but beautiful look over the ocean for now. Our ocean water's nice and calm. That is not going to be the case by this point tomorrow morning. Right now on HD Doppler radar, already tracking some showers. We've got some pretty steady rain now working its way in across Darlington County, as well as scattered showers across Robson County, and more rain ready to roll into the Grand Strand as well. All of this is moving to the northeast pretty quickly. And if I take a wider view, this is all because of a stalled front just to our west. It's lingering there, as well as Tropical Storm Colin down in the Gulf, sending Gulf moisture our direction. Now, thankfully, as Colin makes its way across the peninsula of Florida and up our coastline, it's going to pull that front along with it, finally giving us a break from all this rain. We got a long ways to go before we get to that point. 50-mile-per-hour winds within the storm right now, and looking very unorganized, very lopsided, which is actually going to work in our favor. Also overnight, the forward speed of the storm increased, which means it's going to zip along our coastline. This is by the time we get to tomorrow morning, making its closest approach to the Grand Strand. And remember, anywhere within that cone is fair game. Now, here's what we're expecting. Heavy rain likely tonight into tomorrow morning, and then tapering off pretty quickly for Tuesday. Really, my biggest concern is going to be this moderate to high risk for rip currents tomorrow, especially as we start to get some sunshine. Let me show you how fast this happens. First off today, off and on rain, heavy at times, even some thunderstorms possible this afternoon. This is shortly after lunch. And then heading into your 5 o'clock drive, we'll get a couple breaks in the rain, but still looking pretty soggy. It's overnight tonight that the rain turns very heavy. This is midnight, mainly along the coast, heavy rain, but also across the PD. And then by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for the early risers all the way through 7 a.m., very heavy rain. This is the peak of it. This is as Colin is just off of our coastline. We're going to get those tropical downpours. But then by lunchtime, we start to see everything wind down. Still a little cloudy at that point, but starting to see some peaks of sun by the end of the day. That's how fast this all unfolds. As far as rain amounts go, we're talking about 3 inches to 3 and some change for the Grand Strand. Inland, 1 to 2 inches possible. Temperatures right now in the upper 70s, so feeling tropical already this morning with the mid 70s across the PD. Highs today hitting the mid 80s for both the Grand Strand and the PD. I'll have a closer look at how your temperature forecast looks, as well as the rest of the week coming up in just a bit.
Good morning. 7:12.
Now, WMBF News First Alert meteorologist Marla Branson.
Good morning. Almost 6:15 on this Tuesday morning. Of course, tracking Tropical Storm Colin raced across Florida, now sits pretty much at the state line, just off the South Carolina-Georgia coastline. The most notable thing about this storm, yes, it has wind speeds of 50 miles per hour, but you're going to find those here on the southeast side. Very lopsided storm. By the time we get to tonight, it's expected to really not have any tropical characteristics at all. However, we are expecting the winds within the storm to strengthen, again, mainly over the coastal waters. As for us, we're hardly even looking at any rainfall, just a couple little patches of light showers for the Grand Strand. Now, as far as how much rain we got, we picked up quite a bit for some folks, especially as you head out into Florence County and Williamsburg County, getting over 3 inches near Lake City, over 3 inches as well into Georgetown County, 2.5 as you get to Conway, with a couple reports coming in of close to 3 inches for much of inland Horry County right along the waterway, about 1.5 inches for North Myrtle Beach. As far as the rain goes for the rest of the morning, we're pretty much done with it. In fact, the PD is done with it. We could have a lingering shower or two around 8 o'clock this morning, but by the time we get to lunchtime, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and a beautiful day ahead. Now, that's not the end of impacts from Colin. We can still get some wind gusts occasionally, but most important, especially with the sunshine we're expecting today, a high risk of rip currents. This is very important. Make sure everyone in your group, if you go to the beach today, knows what to do if you get caught in a rip current. There's signs at every beach access explaining the situation and how to get out of it. And that threat increases 2 hours before and after low tide, which is around 4 o'clock to 4:30 this afternoon. So prime beach going hours there in the afternoon. Also at high tide coming up at 10 to 10:30. Looking for some high tides in the usual spots, some minor coastal flooding because of that high tide for Cherry Grove, Garden City, and Pawleys Island. And then on down the road, we will watch for minor river flooding as those river levels start to respond to the rain we've gotten over the past 3 weeks. 73 right now for Myrtle Beach, 72 in Florence. Highs today hitting the mid to upper 80s. I'll talk about the warm weather headed our way coming up in just a bit. Let's get a check now on the roads with Ruby.
The roads right
Now, WMBF News First Alert meteorologist Marla Branson.
Good morning, 20 minutes until 6, and I am very happy to say all quiet in the tropics. In fact, drying out, not just today, but for the extended 0% chance of rain all the way through the weekend and into next week. Fantastic weather. However, we are tracking our next weather headline, a weekend heat wave, and it's a busy weekend for the Grand Strand. Now, we do have a cold front that passed through. It's just off our coast. So for the next couple of days, slightly lower humidity, more comfortable temperatures, really, really nice today and tomorrow. Then as we head into Friday, that's when the changes start to take place. Humidity starts to move back in. Look at Saturday, the vivid colors. Guys, it's not only going to be hot temperature-wise, but that high humidity is going to make the heat index way up there. Now, it's a beautiful sunrise today, hardly a cloud in sight, 72 and comfortable for Myrtle Beach. And on top of that, lower humidity already here, so we weren't stepping out to those muggy conditions. 68 in Florence right now and 64 for Conway. Perfect day for lunch on the patio. Winds will be fairly light, so you don't have to worry about the napkins blowing around. Lots of sunshine. 83 by noon. We are in for a pretty quick warm-up today. 84 by the time we hit 1 o'clock. Then hitting highs today for the Grand Strand of 85 for Myrtle Beach. Really ramping up in temperature as you head away from the ocean. 88 degrees for Conway this afternoon. 87 for Florence and 89 today for Lumberton. And what you see on the thermometer is how it's going to feel with the lower humidity. Also, more good news. You know, yesterday, really not a good day to get in the ocean. Big improvements in our surf conditions today. 85 at the beach, that north wind at 9 and a low risk for rip currents. Low tide today, 4:55, perfect for a after dinner beach walk. You'll have plenty of sand to work with. Comfortable temperatures overnight tonight that, because of the dry weather, will drop quickly. 69 by 11 o'clock, waking up to morning lows tomorrow morning for the beaches in the mid-60s, 64 for Myrtle Beach, and then the upper 50s for morning lows across the PD. Guys, it's been a while since we've had temperatures in the 50s to start out. I don't mind at all. Now, you notice the trend there. Temperatures really ramp up for the weekend. We've got Carolina Country Music Festival, so a lot of folks in a small area with the heat, the humidity. Make sure, I think they have the cash-free wristbands. Load up that wristband with plenty of money for water.
Yeah, and pack your patience too with all those people. It can get hot.
And that sunscreen.
Yes.
Don't want to regret that come Monday at work.
It is a 3-day festival. You don't want to get burned on the first day.
Absolutely not. That kind of puts a damper on things. All right, Marla.